Yo YouTube, what's going on? This is your boy JC here, and basically guys, today this is my new series. It's gonna be childhood stories. So if you guys do enjoy this series, then make sure you leave a comment, rate and subscribe to the video. Always helps me out guys, and I'm sure it always helps you guys out in the long run with me staying motivated to upload more videos. So basically guys, let me get straight into this one. This is gonna be a short story just to start this off, and this is actually gonna be how my mate actually ended up hitting himself in the head with a hammer. So, basically guys, I'm going to get straight into this. Well, basically, I was still in primary school. For you Americans who don't know what that is like the first school you go to before you go to high school, or whatever you call it in your country, or any other country that you come from. So yeah, basically, one day we decided to go and create a base. So we planned this whilst we was in school. It's like, yeah, mate, that's cool. Yeah, we'll go and create this base. Yeah, we'll go and make it. Blah blah blah. So after school had finished, I basically got my mum to give me a couple of quid, and I went down to the shop and bought some string. I don't know what the string was made for. I think it's for holding wood to some of the branches and things like that. And then basically I went up and knocked on his door. We went and got a couple of more people out, one of my friends Reese and things like that. And then basically we just sorted out where we was going to build it, and we was walking around this field for about ages. And I'm going to try and put the picture in your head of the field. The grass is about as tall as your knees, and it's quite wet that day, quite rainy, so it's a pretty good time to be cutting branches, stuff like that, as the branches were pretty moist. And I had the saw, and my mate Ross, who hit himself in the head with the hammer, obviously he had the hammer at the time. So basically we're walking around trying to find the great place to build a base, and we actually find this massive open bush. Imagine you can walk, you have to crouch down a little bit, but you can get into the first section. Then there's a branch blocking the second section. So then basically me and Ross were talking. We decided to cut this branch, and I was sitting there cutting it for possibly around about 25 minutes, and we finally got past halfway. And my mate Ross actually decided to have the smart idea to start hammering on the branch itself. So I was cutting and Ross was hammering, and eventually he was hammering and hammering and hammering, and he was hammering backwards, and he's raising the hammer above his head, and then eventually raising the hammer all the way back up. And imagine the pointy ends of the hammer actually went bang into the top of his head, cutting the top of his head open. And I remember it was such a shock to him and such a shock to us. And I just remember him looking at me, and then he just drops his hammer and starts bursting out into tears. It was actually probably the most shocking experiences of my life at that time. It was pouring out with blood, and it was quite creepy to look at, because this hole was quite big. It was separated quite widely, and I was like quite surprised about how much damage he actually did for bashing the hammer into his head. I'm surprised he didn't actually like chip any of the bone on his cranium. The cranium's a skull, if you didn't know that. And I'm surprised he didn't actually do any damage. It was quite shocking, to be honest. And basically anyway, we get back to Ross's, and of course at the time, of all the time to do it, he had a babysitter there, because I don't know where his mum and dad was. Unfortunately his mum and dad split up now, but I don't know where his mum and dad was, and so she had to go and take him to the hospital. And obviously he couldn't get treated straight away because his mum and dad wasn't there, something like that, and she wasn't old enough. So then they had to wait until the mum and dad got there. And basically afterwards, what he told me, all they did was fix it with some glue. And basically I went through the most traumatic experience of my young life, knowing that surgeons and things like that actually fix cuts with glue. And this actually led on to a long conversation and things like that, and a long agree to disagree with some of my friends about glue, and surely there were stitches and on about he was lying to me. But basically guys, that's the story about how my mate hit himself in the head with a hammer. So I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary, and as always, if you did enjoy the commentary, make sure you leave a comment, rate, subscribe, as it always helps me out guys, and sure it helps you guys out in the long run to keep me motivated. Any constructive criticism always helps guys. This is your boy JC, and I'm out. Peace.